Hi, Kim. We're going to be starting in the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you.
Hola, Pablo. ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, hello friends. Good day, good morning.
Morning.
Hello, Keisha.
Hey, yeah, looks all good. Hi,
Namaskar.
Pablo. How are you? Hi, Abhishek. How are you?
Namaskar.
Kim's on. Hi, Kim.
I'm
Thanks
here.
for joining.
Hi. That's all right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool. Should be fun. We've got 4 minutes. So hopefully,
We'll start in the next 4 minutes, Miss Kaisha, so that people will be coming, obviously, because it's a work day. But
yeah,
we have this session recorded, so we'll repurpose it on all the socials and everything. Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go off camera for a bit and then I'll come back in 3 minutes.
No worries. No, please take your time. Ms. Kaisha, Pablo, we're going to start in the next 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice cup, Pablo.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our free webinar focused on building AI workflows for real-time forecasting and finance decisions. Today, we are joined by two experts who has been working in the industry in the finance and the AI world. Our first guest is a consulting CFO at Entangled Positions and a financial accounting manager at Grossmanor. She has been working in the industry for more than 20 years. Her name is Ms. Kaisha Watson. Hello, Ms. Kaisha.
Thank you. Thanks for the
And
intro.
And we are also joined by another industry expert who has been working in the same industry and as an associate professor at EHU and as an AI product consultant working with Broadware, Pablo Moreno. He has been in the industry for more than 30 plus years. And today they are here for this free webinar to share their insights on what exactly is happening in the financial AI world. Hola, Pablo. Hola, Ms. Kaisha. Over to you. Thank you.
Hola.
Hola.
Gracias.
Oh, I'm very impressed. Good morning, good day, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here.
Same here. I'm gonna kick off with a reconciliation assistant. So I'm going to be looking at the core accounting function and pain points for us in finance. And Pablo will go into a bit more detail around the forecasting and analysis side of things in the second half of the presentation. So I will start by quickly sharing my screen. So essentially, the workflow that I've built is it's called a reconciliation assistant. And essentially what we're doing, we're comparing bank statements versus general ledger. And this takes about 3 minutes. This is a workflow that I've run through Copilot, Cowork, and it's something that I've ran through Claude as well. There's several different platforms that you can run this through, but essentially it does save a lot of time. This task gets done in minutes rather than hours. So generally we spend about 3 hours depending on number of transactions per account month end. It's very manual with lots of VLOOKUPs in Excel. And we spend a lot of time just looking through and trying to identify transpositions and other issues that we come across when reconciling accounts. We spend a lot of time chasing items and things are error prone because it's very manual and audit sensitive. So what Cowork does live for you, it matches the bank statements into the GL, and again Claude can do this as well for you, and it classifies every exemption by accounting type, defaults the journal entries to clear them, so it actually produces journals for you so you can upload via CSV into your ERP to make corrections. And it can also prepare an auditor ready working paper. So you've got your backup and proof as to your data and what steps you've gone through in order to get to your end result. So I'll share the demo in a little bit, but essentially it picks up on duplicates because a patterning is wrong or the amounts don't match, FX rate variances, and also, which I think is quite a fun thing that it does, it preps an email, drafts an email ready to send in your inbox. And because it's Cowork and it's a Microsoft product, the issues around security isn't so much of a worry because it's covered by the same sort of security you would get using Word, well, all the Microsoft products such as Word, Excel, etc. So that's the only difference with Claude. It's not a Microsoft product, so the security is something you've got to tackle outside of that. But again, it's an automation that can be run on that platform as well, and I've gone ahead and done that myself. So the results are different, but very, very similar, and both are good in getting you to the right result. So let me step in and quickly show the Copilot. So if we go into Copilot, what we want to do, sorry, I did a little bit of a test here to make sure it works when I came on. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So I've ran the prompts and prepped the results. So if it doesn't populate immediately, I can show you the output. But yeah, sometimes things like internet speed, etc., slows the results. But yeah, essentially much easier and a lot less manual than having to do it yourself. So I'm picking up as per my, so I'm picking up my bank statement and my GL, and I'm just going to go and find these. I'm just going to upload these from my desktop. So I want to pick up my bank statement and my GL. I want to open those. Doesn't really like it, so no, it's fine. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a prompt in to tell it exactly what I want it to do. So for this task, I'm going to tell it that I want it to Control V. Yeah, so it's a bank still. Let's see what I want you to show. What I want you to show is a task everyone has already done. So it's a banking reconciliation, and it takes about 3 hours per entity. Actually, that's not the prompt. I want to, here we go, reconcile the bank statement against the GL. I copy and paste that. Okay. Copy and paste that in. I think the key thing with any one of these workflows or platforms is just making sure that you give your agent as much information as possible. So if you can give it as much detail as possible, it will give you the best outcome. I suppose if I'd gone in and put reconcile the bank statements against the GL, it would do that, but it probably wouldn't be as efficient as saying putting in the specifics, the account number, the date. I'm telling it that I want it to identify all mismatches, categorize them by type, and then I want it to draft the journals, which is quite a fun thing. You can prepare the journals ready for uploading, to clear any variances that it picks up as a result of this process. And I want it formatted as a working paper so I can give to my auditor. So if I press send, then you can see it's working through the prompt, it's analyzing the working paper, and the GL matches. And so, okay, it's telling me it's ready because I ran it earlier. But essentially what it would do, it would take about it depends on how quick your internet speed is, but 5 minutes maximum to kind of work through both documents, read the prompt, and come up with the solution. So I'll show you what that looks like. And this is the output that I got from uploading the GL and the bank statement and putting in that prompt. As you can see, it's really detailed, and it's got all tabs that you need essentially to have this signed off. So, and this is all generated by Copilot. I've not tweaked this or changed it in any way. So it gives you the working paper, your entity, your account, who it's prepared by, the sources, etc. Balance per bank statement, and it gives you a nice breakdown there. It's telling you it's adding your receipts, it's taken off checks not cleared, etc. And it's telling us, whilst it's done that analysis, it's identified a duplicate journal, and it's telling us that that needs to be reversed. It's posted twice. This entry it's picked up, and it's saying that's a transposition. So rather than having 2430, it's told us that, yeah, it should be 2340. And it's also identifying some FX variances there. It's telling us, because usually with banking reconciliations, the bank charges are posted after you've done your review of the accounts. So it's given us the bank charges amount, and it's saying that obviously needs posting, and the interest usually gets posted after the actual reconciliation as well. It gives us a mismatch by category, so it breaks down all the issues. So we've got timing issues here. So it's also telling us, do we need a journal? No, because it reverses naturally next month. On reconciled items, it's telling us, yes, we have some, and we've prepped, Copilot's prepped for me journal 1 and journal 2 to record those. Are there any errors? Yes, and it's prepped a journal 3 and a journal 4 for me. Any duplicates? Yes, it's prepped a journal 5 for me. And FX, it's captured that in journal 4. So essentially, what's really good about this as well, it gives you a really clear conclusion and points to go from, so that you, rather than going through that detail yourself across the GL and the bank statement, you can actually just run that, and this is your output, and it saves you just it just makes it so much efficient and so much easier to kind of analyze. The next tab, it's going into a little bit more detail, and it's telling you, so it's giving you the general ledger, and it's telling you that this item, for example, is shown where we're matching it. So it's a line by line transaction match. So it's telling you that's a match, that's a match. No, that one's not a match, you know, and it tells you what we need to do in that regard. Anything that's a timing issue, it's categorizing that as a timing issue, so we can, when we go to do our reporting at the end of the period, we can say exactly which items are not recorded, for example, which ones are timing issue, which ones are error, and we can say, well, if a certain number of items, you know, what percentage agreed, and then we agree or we can reconcile. So this is really, really good insight that you wouldn't, that would probably take a long time if it was done manually. With regards to,
I wish I had this in my earlier accounting career. Seriously. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is really, really good fun. I mean, it can be really painful, you know, doing manual reconciliations, but when you think, you get your data, you upload it, you tell it exactly what you want it to do, and it gives you this.
And you're touching two things in my modest opinion that I want to bring into the audience thought, at least, is to do this properly. I mean, obviously, AI tools are very helpful because it will definitely speed up the process of the work that we do, reducing down to tasks. But the reality is that to make this work properly, we need first good data. So at least data needs to be well structured, or structured in a way that humans and machines can process. And I reiterate, humans and machines can process. But machine cannot, can read a bunch of data, but if it's well structured in a way that a system can understand, is very important. So data is very important, but even more important than data is actually your knowledge as a specialist in the field. You can You can do any work with any AI tool to do anything, but if you are not experienced, if you don't have the good understanding, the good background about the work that you're doing, regardless of the tool, regardless of the technology, the result of the work is not going to be
Yeah.
valuable. So, and you are actually wrapping up with the right context. Why those transactions are relevant or
Yeah.
irrelevant? The system just flag it. They don't understand if this is relevant or not. We do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we definitely need that human input. And I think that's why it's called co-work, because
Correct.
it's working with us, where we
Correct.
need to work together, as you say, Pablo, thank you, machine and human. So obviously it can give us an output, but as far as reviewing and analyzing and subsequently maybe taking some of this data and thinking, okay, well, that check that we cached, why wasn't it cached, and trying to build solutions around why we have unreconciled items in the first place, and we can kind of take it to the next step as to how we reduce the number of unreconciled items, specifically talking about reconciliation, but obviously that
Absolutely.
can support us with other solutions with regards to other areas. I'll quickly run through because I know you've got a
No, it's
big workflow to run through as well, Pablo. But
no
yeah,
problem.
essentially, I'm just coming to the end. So it's given us a breakdown, things, timing issues. So we had a summary page where it was pulling in the total number of issues we had via timing. So it's telling us that it's these two transactions, and that's the net of those transactions. And it's telling me these items are unreconciled, and I would expect these normally to be unreconciled when completing a reconciliation, because the bank charges and interest are generally calculated towards the end of the financial the month. So those ones I'm expecting to be unreconciled and manually inputted, or manually inputted. The FX is giving us a breakdown here, which is really helpful, and it's also flagged these are the duplicate entries. It's saying, okay, keep that one line journal reference to one, and it's telling us to reverse this, but it's also taken it to the next level, and it's created a journal for us, so we can easily upload that via CSV into our ERP system. So so there's a summary of the journals, and it tells you your debits, your credits, and then obviously we know that we're matching here, and these are 5 journals prepared for us in less than 5 minutes. And once you obviously upload those, you're ready to go. You've done your reconciliation. Also, you've resolved all the issues that you found on the back of the reconciliation. So it's a great tool, and I would definitely recommend everyone giving it a go, because I think there's a bit of a fear around, oh, I don't know how to use it. Just try. Start with some really simple prompts and then build them out as you go. And I think it's a tool that will support us in our core sort of financial, day-to-day manual tasks, to free us up for more interesting type work, like the analysis aspect of finance. So I think that's me. That's my demo done. I'm going to hand back to you, Pablo. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you very much, Keisha. I was very impressed with the accuracy of the result and the amount of time saved just by reconciliation. Because in finance and accounting, we dedicate, and I say we, I mean, I am long time that I'm not doing any finance in the ground, at least. But we spend a lot of work and time just fixing things up, but not dedicating, or at least reducing our, let's say, dedication to fixing problems coming out of the work that we get after all those tasks and everything. So I think this is a great moment to improve our productivity by having that extra time to focus on fixing problems, being more strategic rather than being very tactical. So Thank you for that. So I'm going to focus on something that I used to be and also a very big rush and pain for me when I was into FP&A. And during a period of time, I have to do a lot of financial planning and analysis, and a big core of my work as FP&A in the past was actually looking forward to closing accounts and detecting variance analysis, and of course all the different discrepancies in accounts once they are consolidated. So regardless of how big or how small your team, your organization is, we should be focusing on finding those variances, understanding the root cause analysis of those variances, and preparing ourselves and our organization to what's coming next, or what to do today to anticipate what's coming next. That is in the ideal world. That's not always used to happen. So my experience is, that is the ideal. That is the ideal thoughts on doing this. But the reality is that the deadlines for closing accounts, consolidation, and everything is so tight and needs to be delivered so fast that we focus on consolidating, because deadline is there and that needs to be reported to someone, and someone else will make a decision based on the consolidation. So the reality is that I have very little time just to find out where are the variances beyond the obvious, obviously, but even worse, I couldn't actually troubleshoot or prepare or anticipate any recommendations to consolidate a future strategy based on that. So I thought, well, because it was actually a pain in my flesh, that scenario, I thought, okay, let's actually focus on what can we do to consolidate, not just consolidate, but also analyze everything quickly, at least in a more consistent way, that we can focus on fixing the business problems more than fixing the consolidation work. And I found, and I also found myself in a situation where not only myself, also all my financial colleagues were having the same problems. And yes, we do have specific regulations and guidelines for consolidation of financials and all of that. We all have that, and it's at the end of the day, it's a very simple arithmetic math. This plus this minus that, and that's basically it. Okay, that's in theory is how it works. But the reality is that, okay, when you start analyzing everything that is consolidated and you start comparing the current period with the previous period, with the previous two periods and everything, and understanding, what is the outlook or the forecast of your consolidated statement looks like, and it's going to be in the future, this is where the real problems start appearing. Because, humans, we are different, and that's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, it's a big problem, because what is important for me is not important, or not as important as to you. What is relevant for me is not as relevant for you. What I'm saying this is because if two finance individuals in the same organization has the same statements, the same accounts, the consolidated, and they see the same variance numbers, one person will say, oh, this gap or this variance is very important. We need to do something about it. The other person will say, oh, there is a variance here, but this other thing is even more important than this one. Why? It's because we have different criteria to decide. Well, unifying that criteria is very important, especially if those variances detected are going to somebody else who is going to be deciding something more strategic beyond my, let's say, financial planning vision of doing all the work. So in addition, so what I'm trying to say is, in addition of, yes, fixing or improving the closing, consolidation, variance analysis, this is important, but in my modest opinion, it's even more important to have a consistent way that everybody understand what is relevant, what is not relevant, the same for everybody. So we all use the same criteria to detect what is important, what is not important. Okay, How that can be translated into a solution where AI can help? Well, I created a very similar solution to what my colleague Keisha did, but I use a different technology. In essence, it's the same. It's just a tool. Okay, so regardless of we're using Copilot, I went to Google AI Studio. Doesn't matter because, as I said, if you need to put a nail in a wall, all you need is a hammer. You don't really care if the hammer is a blue hammer, a red hammer, or a black hammer. You don't care. So all you need is a hammer. So it's a tool. So I use a different tool, and this is what I built. Okay. So the experience is pretty much the same. I mean, we could do this with a lot of Python coding and everything, regardless of that. But I created I mean, obviously this is in a very different iteration. So I created a simple application. I will explain that in a minute. So I created a simple application, and the way I did it was iterating by multiple different instructions that I provide to the system to create that application, to do consolidation, variant analysis, material changes, reports, and all of that, because at the end of the day, I need to understand those variances, put it in a way that is going to help me later in my financial strategy. So I started prompting how I want to create an application that at least brings the the 5-year financial statements. Could be the 5 years or the last 5 months. It doesn't really matter. Or even the last quarter. It doesn't matter. But I need a point to start. Okay. Google AI Studio start finding, okay, this is exactly what you need. I need to build, obviously, this problem is a lot larger than this, okay? So it's just truncated because it's very long. But what I'm doing is translating these items, okay? What do I need? What is my business problem? This is what I start telling the AI tool. What is my business problem? If I have a business problem, everything in technology where something comes in, something is being processed, and something goes out. That's how basically everything works. So what are my inputs? My inputs are my financials. So I'm gonna bring obviously my balance, my cash flow, my P&L, etc., budget and actuals, etc. What I need you to do, you, the tool. And this is all the different items that I need you to do. Okay, this is what the process is. Okay, based on these inputs, and I need you to detect all this. Basically, this is the output that I require from the AI standpoint. And I need to also identify why I'm doing this, because the output needs to be contextualized in a way that can be anything. Do you want a report, or what do you want exactly? So just stating what are the benefits or what is the value to me from the work that the AI application is doing is important for the tool to narrow down exactly the scope of the final application, the final solution. So I went through this. This is the output. This is what I understand. Basically, the machine is telling me. This is what I understand from your input. Is this what you need? I started first. Oh, okay. Well, because I didn't have any financials to test with. Okay. Well, I'm gonna bring this from the financial market. Doesn't matter. So yeah, go to Yahoo Finance, the API from Yahoo. Pulls data, the financial statements from whatever the company I want to bring. Obviously, if it's listed, it's there because they have public information that I can use. But I also thought, okay, hold on. If I have my financial statements already in CSVs or Excel files, I also want to be able to upload it. Well, I told the system, is run down the long prompt here. Hey, also, I want to be able to upload my own financials. So I can either use something external, or I can use my own financials, even if it's a very small company. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's a financial statement that has a very specific structure. Okay, and this is exactly what the system says. Oh, I understand that this is what you want to do. This, and this. Okay, fine. This is exactly what I want. Perfect. Well, how do you want to visualize the application? That's a UX UI. Okay, and I told also, I do some testing, why this is failing to fetch the financial data. I troubleshoot it, again, just typing, no coding, no anything behind the scene. Okay, so, and I also say, oh, I also, man, looking at here, that's very nice, but I also want to be able to download it as PDF, the final output, the final result. Oh, fine, or include an export to PDF or even to Excel file, whatever is producing. And after some iterations, I finally made it. Okay, so what the output is, this can be done again with Copilot. There is no difference on that. It's just a tool. So it's just telling the Copilot to do it. But I'm using here Google AI Studio. Fine. And this is the application. I don't have any financials to upload, but I could upload if I want to. Okay, but any preference for any company listed, Keisha, that you want to do? Somebody from the audience? I don't know.
Abhishek suggested Nvidia, so maybe
Which
we'll
one?
go with that again. Nvidia.
Oh, NVIDIA.
Nvidia, yes.
NVIDIA. NVIDIA. I think this is the right code, if I am not wrong. Let's actually make sure. Yahoo Finance, I think is NVIDIA, I believe. So NVIDIA. Oh yeah, there you go. NVIDIA. That is right. Perfect. So, okay, I'm gonna tell the application to go to Yahoo Finance, bring all the financials from NVIDIA the last 5 years, and do this analysis for consolidation. Okay, this is what I expect to bring from Yahoo Finance in this case, because we are not uploading anything. And I want the system to detect material balances, identify unusual trends, compare those big items with historical patterns, identify if any draft commentary, and identify high risk. Obviously, I need to tell what is a risk. Anything beyond 5% is a low risk. Anything above 2 up to 10% variance is a medium risk. Anything above 10% to me is a high risk. Okay, I need to identify what are the criteria for me, the standard criteria for me to identify what is a risk. Perfect. Let's put it to work. Okay, so I just hit fetch, and I hope it works. Yeah, it does. Right now it's running. So you see that is the model is, let me give a little bit more zoom. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the system brought the financials and now is performing that specific analysis. Let's see the output. And you can see, I can export everything to PDF. It's working in real life, so taking a little while. Obviously, when I am sharing screen and everything, normally it takes a bit longer because it's using more resources from my system. By the way, you mentioned something important about security. This has been run in the cloud application, but I do have a subscription, so this is locked to my profile. But if I want, I can connect the model to a local model sitting in my system. No need to send anything outside in the case of I'm uploading my own financial statements, okay? So I can have a model sitting in my system. There are applications out there where I can have my model sitting in my own computer and let the computer and the model in my system to do exactly the same work. Okay, so there is no token usage, there is no data going in and out outside of my own computer, my own system, and still can get the same result. This is something doable and possible. And now especially in the financial field where we are using so many sensitive data, I strongly advise to go that way. So using some local systems. Okay, it's taking a while. Well, at least it is working for me. So I can go outside, bring a coffee, come back. Because I need to focus on the results, not actually doing the work.
Yeah,
Something, yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, sometimes it depends on the prompt you've put in. Obviously, it's sifting through a lot of information right now, and it's trying to address each point you
Yeah,
raised in the prompt. There we
here it
go.
is.
There we go.
Look,
Done.
a week of work, intensive work, done in few minutes, literally. So I have an executive summary. NVIDIA exhibiting an exceptional strong financial performance due to hyper growth across all financial metrics, blah, 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 blah. So, and I can get the main metrics like gross margins, gross revenues, EBITDA, free cash flow. All of this is summarized here. It's not the traditional bullet point type of summary. Okay, so it's giving a little bit of value in terms of content. It's just a few lines of items that we can digest easily as financial people. We also can have historical comparisons, so we can tell, okay, this is what happens in 2023, and this is what happening in 2026. So this is a times 7 growth in terms of net income, and it's explaining obviously the few items justifying why is that. So I do have an historical comparison. I don't need to go through all the material analysis, start doing my Excel calculation and all of that. So it is done automatically for me, because I also told them I want material variances. Let's go to the other tab section and look. This is giving me the top variances by the different statement, either if it's P&L, what happened in my total revenues, operating income, net income, diluted EPS, etc. But I also have classified what happened in the balance sheets. And the balance sheets, this is what happens, and the few things and the material changes. Right now, we're not talking risks or anything associated to that. It's just what materially changed from one to the other. Obviously, this is the latest published financial statements for NVIDIA. The same for cash flow. What happened with the cash flow? Again, going back to P&L, some other items, more balance sheets, and I can export this easily to either CSV or Excel or PDF. But again, this is very agnostic, just making analysis in a very agnostic way. The beauty of this, in my opinion, and when we have a team of financial people, everybody is looking the same thing in the same way. I am not interpreting what is important for me to be variance. The other person will not have more priority in all the type of variances. This is just very agnostic in that way. So it's no human judgment here, which in this case is very important in my opinion. So we have unusual trends. This maybe is something where human judgment is needed. Is this actually right or not? I mean, what do you understand? What the system understand for unusual trends? So I can put the focus on few things, on few of the items or all the items. At least he just mentioned 6. This is something that is very important in the case of NVIDIA. Inventory growth is outpacing the revenue, so it's producing too much memories and memory cards. Is that going to be enough demand in the future to supply based on the inventory or not? I mean, again, and that comes down to my understanding, my knowledge, my expertise in the field, in my own company, assuming that this is the company that I'm making analysis of, okay? This is where I think one of the biggest value is risk assessment. I already provided what is a risk based on my standard criteria. So anything that is above whatever threshold is a low risk, medium risk, or high risk. Again, is going through, okay, what are the medium risk areas? Also, you will say we have a problem, or not a problem, but at least it's a risk. Is this good or bad? It's a risk. It's just something beyond the normality. So we have an inventory growth. Is that going to be enough demand in the future to attend based on the inventory that we are having? This is important. Goodwills. Is this something that is going to be deprecated in the future? For example, we don't know, but right now it's a very substantial portion of the balance sheet. So I mean, it's an area. But again, this is agnostic based on the standard parameters that I already give to the system. Any other person, any other colleague within my finance team will look exactly the same with the same criteria. Okay. And obviously, finance is very important to see what is the underlying data supporting all those assessments and reports. Well, I need to see the real data behind the scene. Well, populate the data. Well, so we can see, okay, you said here, for example, total revenue from 2023. Yeah, perfect. I want to see that. Well, let's go to here and we can see, I cannot find right now, obviously, because I'm in front of everybody, but we can find somewhere here the total revenue somewhere, which I cannot get right now, but I can compare. This is 25, this is 24 or 23 against 24 because the financials close already. Okay, we can actually see the raw data behind the scene. Again, we are pulling data from the financial market because we don't have any specific data, but I can actually upload my very little small company selling tomatoes with more than 25,000 pounds revenue a year, which I am very proud of, and do exactly the same analysis with the exact same criteria so everybody understand the same in the same level. So this is what this is again another way to support the financial work that financial professionals must perform. I know there is a lot of discussion nowadays. Is this going to replace humans or not? Well, in my opinion, I am an AI engineer working in the last 10 years, applied to business. In my opinion, is not going to replace humans. It's replacing tasks that humans are doing. This is what is true and is happening. I also see another trend, in my modest opinion, very wrong, that says all juniors will not be needed anymore. Well, who do you think? I mean, if you think so, that's fine. I am not going to complain, but as an AI expert, so who do you think is going to maintain the raw data that the system needs? A senior? Because all the AI system, all of them needs data and needs good data, not any data, good data. So who do you think the good data or the owner of maintaining good data in the systems that AI is going to use to leverage the work of the seniors? Well, to me, the juniors. So it's going to be a shift. The way that we are having a shift in the senior people of using and empowering our work using tools based on AI, the shift on the work and the task for the junior people are again being redirected in a different way. Maybe juniors will not do basic financial analysis, but they will be responsible for the data governance, data stewardness, and some other things, because data needs to be there and needs to be there in a good way. So this is the two messages that I would like to share. Obviously, I understand that somebody will have a different opinion. Totally get it. I am not here to discuss with anybody, but I just want to share these thoughts after working a lot with in many implementations in AI tools in the field, in real companies, solving real problems, and many of them, of course, in finance as well. Okay. Good. This is the end of my presentation, and I hope that is there any comment or any question from the audience that we want to take care? Good. Okay. We see here, yeah, question. How long did it take to develop the prompts? That's a good question. In my case, it took me like maybe about 2 hours, more or less, because I did few iterations and I was looking the result of the output and I said, oh, change this, or I don't like this, so include that or something like that. It took no more than 2 hours. So, but it's a one-time job. So once you have it, once you do it, once you complete and you get, let's say, an MVP prototype application that you can start working with, it's just there. So it's just another tool that you add to your tool set. So no more than 2 hours, including the iterations. And you need to wait for the system to produce the application. So, and then you start iterating over and over until you get the final results. Oh, Keisha, you actually responded to your prompts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree, Pablo. It depends on how complex the analysis is. Some prompts, I mean, for me to build the bank reconciliation, probably five minutes, because it's
Fantastic.
something I do.
Nice.
I do it daily. The core financial function, so I know exactly what I need to put down. But I think if the task is quite complex and you're not getting the results that you want, then obviously going in and readjusting and tweaking the ask does take time. So it can take quite long depending on the complexity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes,
But
I think we
still,
have.
again, I'm just gonna say, but then it's still so much quicker than having to do this all manually.
Oh, absolutely. You need an expert. You need a human to tell the machine what to do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't mind to share at least my prompts, so you can actually try yourselves. I mean, you can. There is a free instance of, in the case the tool that I'm using, Google AI Studio. There is a free instance. I'm just paying a subscription because I'm going into more other sophisticated areas offered by Google AI Studio, but again, can be any other tool, doesn't really matter. But I can definitely share the screens. And again, thank you, Jose, for the comment. Okay.
That brings us to the end of today's session. On behalf of everyone here at PAC, I thank once again to Ms. Kaisha and Pablo for being on beautiful webinar. As far as recordings are concerned, those will be shared with everyone. There are a lot of people that I was getting emails on that they couldn't join owing to Friday being a work day. So yeah, we do understand this. So the recordings will be shared with everyone who joined us today, and for people who couldn't join us. Until then, I would say keep practicing the finance, which Miss Kaisha and Pablo has shared with us. All the prompts and the manual transactions, accounting, which Miss Kasha has shared. Keep practicing that, and since it's a lot of heat, keep yourself hydrated. So just keep doing that, and I'll see you in the next webinar. Thank you so much.
Certainly.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Bye bye. Take care.